Today I'd like us to consider the relationship between price elasticity of demand and profit. Let us consider a monopoly seller of this product, a particularly special kind of tuna that only one firm sells. The monopolist faces a downward sloping demand curve. If the monopolist wishes to sell more products, he can do so, but must lower the price. The demand curve is, of course, a firm's average revenue curve, since all the tuna will be sold at the same price. We know that the marginal revenue curve facing such a demand curve must have twice the gradient of that average revenue curve. The point at which marginal revenue is zero bisects the distance from the origin to the intersection of the AR curve, and thus vertically above it must be the midpoint of the demand curve. We know from price elasticity of demand that at this point, price elasticity of demand is unit or -1. A firm who maximizes profit will attempt to sell units up to the point at which marginal cost equals marginal revenue. This firm will then produce quantity Q1 units, and these will be sold at the maximum price possible that is dictated by the demand curve, and thus these units will all be sold at price P1. In order to calculate profit, we need to realize that the average cost is C1, and thus average profit will be given by distance AB. Total profit, therefore, will be distance AB times the number of units sold, Q1, which gives us this profit rectangle, as I've shaded in. An important thing to note, however, is that at this price, the monopolist is selling on the elastic part of his demand curve. We know that at all points from the intersection of the demand curve with the vertical axis and the midpoint, demand is price elastic, but falling as we move down the curve. On the lower section of the demand curve, price elasticity of demand is inelastic. Thus, we get the counterintuitive verdict that a monopolist who is a single seller will nevertheless sell products on the elastic part of his demand curve.